Oh, hello again. Welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
I'm Femme. Drusilla Femme. Which could not be further from the truth. Hi, welcome to the week of Bloodhaus. He's my favorite.
You're literally a woman.
Yeah, but I'm not that femme. My partner is
femme.
far more femme than myself.
She is, it's true.
But, she is pink.
Yes, she is the lipstick lesbian of the two of you. How are you?
I'm good. Just been working really hard and then feeling run down and being like, why do I feel run down? And then being like, oh wait, it's because I'm working a lot. Oh.
Yeah.
That's why.
Classic story.
Yeah. I've been having like some weird stomach thing. And so it's like been lots of like cutting out like meat, and I'm cutting out soda, and I'm cutting out processed stuff. I'm sticking to like smoothies and tea and water and lots of like vegetables.
What are you doing? Like an elimination diet to like try to figure out what's harming you?
Potentially, but also just generally being like, I don't think I'm taking care of myself.
Okay, I got it.
I'm creeping up on 30, and so I'm like, I should be taking better care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I already like eat a nearly vegetarian or pescatarian diet because of my partner.
Right.
But literally last week we went out to Damon's and I got a steak. So like
steak is healthy, by the way.
as healthy as like a cut of meat can be.
Yeah.
Lots of good iron and stuff. But like I made a asparagus risotto last night that was really good. Mm-hmm. So, I'm trying to, I'm going to make myself a salad after we finish recording.
Are you exercising?
Not as much as I should, but since feeling shitty, I am now doing like long walks and jogs every morning.
That'll make you feel better.
Yeah. I have a bike which is super cute and super fun, and I ride it a lot. The issue is that the place that I live at now is on an incline.
Oh God.
So it's really easy for me to get anywhere, and then I have to walk home.
The annoying thing about being alive, I mean, there are many annoying things about being alive and having a body, because it's just like embarrassing and gross. But one of them is that exercise and nutrition really is like the best way to feel good. It is like the best antidepressant. And before you come for me, listener, I'm not talking about people that have like a chemical imbalance or like a mental illness. Of course, be medicated and all of that. Like, I'm not saying like don't take your antidepressant. I'm saying barring all of that, exercise is really the best antidepressant, and it's super annoying.
I know, it's really annoying, but every time I do it, I feel better, and it's shitty. It's weird how when I'm not on my phone and I'm out in the world getting sunshine on me and I'm moving my body, I feel good.
Touching grass feels good. Same with food. Like if I'm sad and I like just eat burritos and takeout all day, I feel worse. But if I force myself to eat something nutritious, I feel a little better, and it sucks. It sucks the way that happens.
I mean, I've got a great brand of salad dressing I like. I've got a great like setup of croutons and cucumbers that I like. So like I make myself salads that I like. So like I'll be fine. I should be eating more healthy. I should be exercising more. There is a YMCA not far from me that has a pool that I want to get a membership to so that I can go run there and swim and stuff. It just takes time for me to like do things. I've lived here for a few months now, and I'm still like, I need to do that. Okay.
The other side of all this, of course, is like the gross LA-ness of like, I don't know, my Instagram algorithm is all like fitness influencers who talk about like eating a certain amount of microbiotics, which I don't even really know what that is. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to live like that. I think it's healthy also to some days be like, I'm sad. Fuck it. I'm getting Five Guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have a life that doesn't have room for that.
I mean, literally last week I had a day that I literally felt shitty and ordered Five Guys. And I also had a day where I felt shitty and ate Cheetos for the first time in like 2 years. So like that also might be why my body's feeling shitty. Yeah, maybe I don't eat Chipotle once a week anymore. Maybe I make myself salads at home more, and maybe I get out of my house more than to just go to the library. But
yeah.
Anyway, how are you? How are you doing?
Well, to keep this wellness, this listener, we're shifting into being a wellness podcast. I hope you come on this self-improvement journey with us.
Welcome to Well House, the podcast for art house wellness. I
have an update on my transcendental meditation journey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that it's great. I feel like Taffy Davenport from Female Trouble when she becomes a Hare Krishna. Yeah. And she's like, I feel like I found $1 million in the street, mother. David Lynch described it as feeling like that feeling when you're in an elevator that's going down and you get that weird feeling in your stomach. I feel that when I do it. It feels really good. Or like that feeling of like the sunken place in Get Out, but in a good way. You know, like it makes me feel good. I feel happier and clearer headed and more productive each day. And it's still new, but I'm really loving it.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. What's your mantra?
I recommend. I'm not telling you. It's a secret.
Okay, that's because we're recording. If we weren't recording, you would tell me anyway. I'm gonna hit the record button off, and now you can tell me. Go ahead. We're not at this point. We're not recording anymore. It's just you and me. What's your mantra?
I'm not telling you, Drew.
God damn it! Oh, I'm gonna have to shell out $1,500 and fucking get a mantra of my own.
What's up? How are you? Have you been watching anything good?
Yeah. Okay. So, it's early still October. We have just wound down Beyond Fest season. And you know, Beyond Fest is a goddamn gauntlet of a film festival from like the moment the schedule is announced to the last day of the festival. It is like you have to fight tooth and nail to get tickets. You have to like be on your A game. And then there's like so many goddamn screenings. There are 3 different theaters spread across the city. Like I don't do the Arrow. Fuck that. I live in Burbank. I'm not going to the West Side. I'm so sorry. But even between the Los Feliz Theater and the Egyptian, it's a lot of like ping ponging around, or a lot of like fitting your schedule and getting tickets without knowing what your schedule is, and like trying to work things in. And so there's a lot of stuff I really wanted to see at the festival, and they had a lot of speakers and special guests coming that I wanted to see. William Peterson was there. Tim Robbins showed up for some. Guillermo del Toro. I didn't get to go to any of those. And there was one movie among those that I really wanted to go because my girlfriend hadn't seen it, and I thought she would really enjoy it. And I've been trying to sell her on it for years. And whenever I would bring it up, I would just say the title and the lead actor, and she would be like, eh. And I was like, no, but like, you'll really like this one. It's like early 90s, like underrated horror in the same vein as like Exorcist III or like Dead Ringers. Like, it's really good. It's definitely something we should eventually do in Bloodhaus. But like, I would bring it up, and based on the title and the lead actor, she would always have like vague to no interest. And then when we were at Beyond Fest for some of the Miko Kaji films, they play like a reel of trailers for all the movies they're playing at the festival. And I had stepped away to go chat up with the people at the Arrow booth. And I came back, and the trailer for that movie had played, and Ivory grabbed me and was like, we need to watch Jacob's Ladder. And I was like, I've been telling you for 3 years that we need to watch Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
And so we missed the screening with Tim Robbins. She's not a Tim Robbins fan or has any like major connection to him other than like Shawshank Redemption being on TV and to me making her watch the Hudsucker Proxy, which she was not into. Her loss. And so I went out and bought a fucking like $8 Blu-ray of Jacob's Ladder, and we watched it the other night. I hadn't seen it since college, and you know what? That movie fucking rules.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I rewatched it probably maybe around 2018 and I had only seen it once before as like I don't know, a pretty young person. I remember feeling like this is super weird and very cool.
It's really cool. I will say, on the second watch, the like twist element is really obvious.
Yeah.
Like really obvious. Like they're hammering it home, it feels like.
Yeah.
However, the imagery, the performances, and the like build of anxiety throughout that movie is like impeccable. And the way that it like absolutely just obliterates the movie's own concept of reality is really nice. I was blown away by the supporting cast of that movie, because I always just think about Tim Robbins in the lead, which it's maybe his best performance. He's really good at it. But then you also get like two scene stealing like side roles from Danny Aiello.
Yeah.
Pruitt Taylor Vince is really amazing in like two scenes. A young Jason Alexander with the comb over also steals his scenes. Ving Rhames is amazing in it, and he's like
at the cast list now. God, I need to rewatch this. Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin is uncredited as like a ghost essentially, and it's the same year as Home Alone. That's and literally, so you watch the scenes with Macaulay Culkin, you're like, that kid's gonna be a star, and then you're like, oh yeah, he has a John Hughes movie coming out this year. He's really amazing in it. The strangest thing to me about Jacob's Ladder is that it is directed by Adrian Lyne, whom and this is the only film by him that I like, and even beyond that, the only film by him that I can stand.
Yeah,
which is weird. Everything else he's made is Fatal Attraction, 9.5 Weeks, A Decent Proposal, Unfaithful, Flashdance, and the remake of Lolita. He's the 80s, 90s king of sleazy erotic thrillers. And Flashdance, I like. I like Flashdance.
Yeah.
But everything else on that list, I fucking hate. And I think are really bad. And he, like, famously was, like, considered for projects that went to De Palma, or considered for projects that went to Verhoeven or Cronenberg, or some of his projects initially started with De Palma or Verhoeven and then went to him.
Yeah.
And so he's always seemed like the D string of those guys. And then Jacob's Ladder, which was his passion project, which only got made because of how much money Fatal Attraction made. Like his, like, I want to make a movie about non-veterans and PTSD and the like chemical experiments that the US government did on our own soldiers, is amazing. It's really, really good. And I wish he made any other movies like this.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia. The screenwriter is interesting too, because before this, he wrote the movies Brainstorm and Deadly Friend, which are both such trash. And I love both of those movies. But then he disappeared. He went to a Tibetan Buddhist monastery in Nepal for 2 years, came out with a script for Jacob's Ladder and Ghost, which both got made in 1990. Both
movies that are like major hits. Or
at least Ghost was huge.
I don't think Jacob's Ladder was a hit, but they're both major sidesteps for the directors, because Ghost is directed by one of the Zucker brothers.
Oh, is it? That's right. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, you know what? He followed that up with Deep Impact, Stuart Little 2, and The Time Traveler's Wife.
What a career.
What an auteur. Bruce Joel Rubin. But you know what? He kind of knocked it.
I mean, doing better than me.
And he produced Jacob's Ladder too.
I love Deadly Friend. Ghost. I watched Deadly Friend all the time as a child. I had it on VHS. Like when she throws the basketball and smashes that woman's head. Love that.
That's the best thing in Deadly Friend.
It's so funny.
Is terrible.
But you don't know that when you're like 7.
That's true. I didn't see it until my 20s.
Right.
And for a long time, Deadly Friend was the like hard to find, like lost Wes Craven movie from the 80s. Like, oh my God, I wonder what this one is. And then I finally watched it and I was like, it's a robot. like, this is dumb. But it's got its fans. And that basketball thing is like redonkulous.
Hilarious. Do you know what's like the most underrated Wes Craven movie? It's playing somewhere in LA this month. I might have missed it already. Is
it the
Under the
Amish
Stairs? No, People Under the Stairs.
People
Under
the Stairs is amazing. I think People Under the Stairs has gotten a big critical resurgence because of the horror noir documentary.
Yeah.
But I think People Under the Stairs and Serpent in the Rainbow are like way too slept on.
Yeah, agreed.
Like Craven's post Elm Street pre New Nightmare run is pre-Scream. But I mean, New Nightmare is also amazing. But New Nightmare and Scream are like now at like big echelon levels. But like, Shocker is dumb, but it's really fucking good.
It's really good. And I would say that People Under the Stairs especially is actually good, and it's super stylish the way that Nightmare is, and it's a crowd pleaser. Like it is a big fun commercial movie. If you watch it in a movie theater, it's a blast. People love it, and I don't know why it just fell by the wayside, other than, I don't know, maybe racism is the only reason I can think of. But it's just like such a blast.
He has such an odd career where like he has his handful of hits, a good portion that launched franchises, Scream, Elm Street, to a lesser extent, Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, that like really cement him as being this icon. And anything that's not franchised seems to get overlooked, despite the fact that like a lot of them are great. Serpent in the Rainbow is amazing. People on the Stairs is amazing. Shocker is crazy fun. I think Red Eye is really underrated. Even within the franchises, New Nightmare is like amazing. And then like he also did Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
And then Deadly Friend and Deadly Blessing are his two like forgotten 80s movies. Deadly Blessing, which is Ernest Borgnine in creepy Amish movie.
Yeah.
But the poster is like boobs. So I guess people saw it.
Do you know what I watched? Speaking of like franchises, so my movie club has spent the whole month watching underseen sequels.
I thought you were going to say Under Siege sequels, and I was like, is there just the one? Seems like also on a train.
And so we've watched a bunch of part twos, and the first one we watched was because of, is it David Kitteridge that's making that Exorcist II sequel or documentary?
Yes.
So we watched The Exorcist II, The Heretic, which I'd never seen actually.
Ooh.
And if you don't know, this is like one of the most disdained movies of all time. It's regularly on lists of like the worst sequels ever made. Very hated movie. And I don't know that I'm ready to say it's a good movie, but I don't think it deserves that kind of heat. There's a lot about it that's really interesting and bold and even beautiful. I thought the sets were like so beautiful for no reason, frankly. I mean, there's just like no reason for these sets to be as stunningly beautiful as they are. But like there's a lot of it takes place at like this child psychiatrist's office. And it's for some reason, her particular office is all windowed walls, and it's in the center of this wide office space where all of the other offices also have just glass walls, and so it's just like a maze of glass, and it's so weird but super beautiful. And for some reason all of the offices have Star Trek doors that just like open on their own. It's so strange but just gorgeous.
I have that movie and I really, 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 really need to watch it. I know some people that are like massive defenders of that movie, like huge, huge, huge fans. And I'm really excited to see David's new documentary, Borman and the Devil, which also just played at Beyond Fest as a double bill with a print of Exorcist Heretic. That franchise is so bizarre, and its history of its sequels and things.
I've heard Exorcist 3 is really good. Is actually
Have you not
really
seen
good.
Exorcist 3?
No, I've never seen any of them except for the first one until now.
We should do Exorcist 3 on the podcast. We should do it for Bloodhaus.
So I now know
you would love it.
That the author of The Exorcist hated Exorcist II, the Heretic.
Yes. So
much that he was like, fine, I will write a sequel to The Exorcist. And so he went and wrote a book that was a sequel to his book, The Exorcist. And so that book got adapted into The Exorcist 3.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Yes and no. There's a
Okay.
middle step there you're missing.
Okay.
Which is he already wrote a sequel to The Exorcist by the time Exorcist II: The Heretic happened. Exorcist II: The Heretic happened because of the success of The Exorcist. And obviously William Friedkin was like, I don't care. I don't want to do it. I'm moving on.
Right.
So they got John Deliverance Borman.
Right.
Who had made Point Blank. Jesus Christ. Which is one of my favorite movies ever. I love Deliverance. And he also made Zardoz, which explains the look of Heretic.
The look of Heretic is crazy, but beautiful.
As is Zardoz.
Actually beautiful.
And he famously hated the first Exorcist.
I wonder why.
But William Peter Blatty, the author, had already written another book called The Ninth Configuration, which is a direct sequel to The Exorcist, but is about a mental asylum for veterans, with PTSD, and it directly connects to the events of The Exorcist, and the you're gonna die up there line is Reagan talking to an astronaut from the Ninth Configuration while he was in space, and that he is now is suffering from PTSD and moon flashbacks and shit. And he adapted that into a movie in the 70s after he hated Exorcist II: The Heretic so much. And that's called The Ninth Configuration. And it was made by a different studio, so it's legally can't be treated as an Exorcist sequel. Movie. So then he writes the book Legion, which is the third in that series, technically, which then ties back to the priest from The Exorcist.
And so that becomes The Exorcist 3.
That becomes The Exorcist 3. And so because the book is called Legion because there's no exorcism in that book. It is just tied to and connected to the priest from the original Exorcist.
Got it.
So when they make it into a movie, Morgan Creek is you got to call it Exorcist. We'll let you direct it, but you got to call it Exorcist 3. And he was like, oh, okay. And so he shot the book and made it, and it's amazing, and called it Exorcist 3. And they had test screenings, and everyone's like, this sucks. There's no exorcism in this movie. So they reshot the ending to put an exorcism in it and cut it a bunch and took a bunch of stuff out. And then that's The Exorcist 3 that came out. It's amazing. It was, I want to say, one of Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite movies. He would make victims watch it with him.
God.
And they recently uncovered the Legion cut of it, so that's available on most Blu-rays of it now. It's really good. We should absolutely do it for the podcast. But I really want to watch The Heretic soon. I have it, and I'm determined to watch it this Halloween season because
I'm not ready to say that it's a good movie. I don't know that it's good, but it's definitely not worth. It's not deserving of all the hatred that it receives, and it's got a lot about it that is really commendable and special and I would say even beautiful. And apparently Linda Blair is she's like, this is the worst movie I've ever been in, but she also said, when we started filming, the script was really good and there was just so many cooks in the kitchen that as happens, it turned into something weird and crazy when there's too many cooks in the kitchen. It happens all the time. Tale as old as time.
Truly. I'm excited. I mean, it seems like it's finally getting its Halloween 3 moment.
Yeah,
so
it does feel like that.
I'm glad for that. And also Exorcist 3 got a beating for a long time and has finally come around. And I think it's one of the best horror movies of the 90s. So I'm really glad that's happening. And I'm really glad people are taking a new look at Exorcist 2. And I'm really excited to see the documentary.
Yeah, me too. I mean, The Exorcist, for me, I like The Exorcist a lot. I think it's a great movie, but it's not my movie. You know what I mean?
It's not precious to you.
Right. Yeah.
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 I feel the same way. I really like The Exorcist. I think The Exorcist is very, 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 very good. But it's a handful of movies from the 60s and 70s and, earlier and more recently that had these huge reputations that I can watch and be like, yeah, it's good. It's not the most important thing in the world to me. I understand its critical and cultural placement, but I also, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I
think
the
it is
same
the
way.
great. I mean, I think it deserves its reputation. It's just like it's not my movie, right?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think it's very good. But I don't think it's the scariest thing in the world. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. I think it's just very good. I don't know. I feel bad being like, oh yeah, The Exorcist, 4 stars. Like, but like, I don't know. Like, I always feel bad when people bring up, that, or like The Godfather, or like 2001, or all these movies, and I'm like, yeah, they're like good. I can see how they're good. It's just not for me. So it's really hard for me to like. It's not firing on all cylinders for me because
I get so mad at people for doing this. I blocked someone on Twitter back in the day because they said that The Shining was boring, and I was like, block. I don't need this negativity in my life.
The Shining's amazing. I was raised on The Shining.
Perfect.
So
movie.
Like, yeah, perfect film.
Someone once told me that they thought that you had to be Catholic, raised Catholic, to believe that, to be so scared by The Exorcist. Yeah. And I was not.
I was not. It was not until my high school era that I was brought into the Catholic Church by people. And so I don't have that baggage. I the idea of demon possession in a movie is never scary to me because it's always it's like a hitman or a dog catcher. It's like, that's a thing that's only in movies. It's like quicksand, where I was like, when's that ever gonna happen?
I truly don't really like demon possessions kind of ever. And I mean, I like them fine. It's not my favorite trope, I guess is what I would say. I did write the fucking demon possession episode of Sabrina, but only because it was assigned to me.
Yeah. You know what is a trope and a setup that I really like a lot? A creepy old dark house.
Me too. Thank you for getting us back on topic. So we are continuing our Halloween exploration of classic Universal movies. Today we've got kind of a weird one. This is a deeper cut. From 1932, directed by the iconic James Whale, we are discussing The Old Dark House. Now, as I said, this one is a bit of a deeper cut. I didn't even know this one existed until I was fully an adult. It was literally a lost film for some time. Wasn't released on any format until 1999 when it came out on DVD for the first time.
And it is no longer owned by Universal, so it doesn't get lumped into all those Universal Monster box sets.
Yeah. And it doesn't have, I think part of it is that it doesn't have like a monster to hook onto, It doesn't have Frankenstein or the creature from the Black Lagoon or
the Wolfman
whatever. Yeah.
It's got one of the iconic actors in heavy prosthetics, but he's not playing a monster.
Yeah. And in some versions of this, I guess it even says like, yes, that's Boris Karloff. You're not wrong. He did play Frankenstein. That's him.
The copy that I have when I rewatch it starts with a card that says, "We at Universal Pictures would like to assure you that yes, that is the same Karloff that was the mechanical monster of Frankenstein. We want to get ahead of any arguments now." And it's like, you think people are going to be fighting in the theater over like, no, it's a different man named Karloff actually. Like, what the fuck is happening?
So this was kind of sandwiched between Frankenstein and the Invisible Man, which James
in terms of Whale's career, yes,
worked on. Yeah.
It's an odd trajectory. Obviously, the Universal Monster cycle kicks off in 1931 with Dracula, which we covered last week.
Yep.
Dracula is a massive fucking hit. And they immediately tap Whale, who was like one of their prestige directors, who had made like Waterloo Bridge and a lot of films about World War One. He was a World War One veteran himself and a big theater director in the UK. To come in and direct Frankenstein, because they were like, this works when we do it schlocky with Todd Browning. Let's see if it'll still work when we bring some like class and elegance to it with this Whale guy. And it really worked. Obviously, Lugosi famously turned down the role of Frankenstein's monster, which he regretted until his dying day.
I bet.
Whale discovered Karloff, cast him in the role. It blew up Karloff's career, who'd just been like a day player for like decades at that point. And so Karloff is a bankable monster name. Whale is Universal's golden child, transitioning from being like art and like Oscar darling to now being like mass populist genre filmmaker for them. It's like the reverse of a lot of directors' careers these days, which is very interesting. And so they were immediately trying to get, the plan was to do 2 of these a year under Carl Laemmle Jr.'s regime. And in 32, they were prepping The Mummy with Boris Karloff, which came out at the end of the year, that Carl Frun directed, who was the DP on Dracula. And the plan was to do The Invisible Man next. That was like the obvious next move. They wanted Karloff to play the Invisible Man, and Whale to direct. And it just took so long to deal with H.G. Lewis to get the rights. Not H.G. Lewis. Oh my God. Fucking H.G. Wells. Not Herschel Gordon Lewis. H.G. Wells. To get the rights from him to do The Invisible Man. He was very involved. Yeah. And so it like dragged things down to a halt. And so Whale was a fan of the British novelist and playwright J.B. Priestley, who was also a big World War I veteran and a big lefty. And he was also from the north of England. And they had a lot in common, though they hadn't met at the time. And he had written a book called Benighted, I want to say. Benighted, which is very much a title that American audiences retitled. The American book was retitled The Old Dark House. Yeah. And James Whale was like, this book's good. This guy won't be shitty to work with. And Universal loved him and trusted him, and they kind of let him do whatever the fuck he wanted with this movie.
Yeah. And
they let him cast it.
The book is about the class system in the UK. And it's
the same narrative, but it focuses more on the class system within that.
Yeah. That's in the movie for sure, but it's sort of secondary or kind of just it's implied, I guess. It's like not the focus of the movie.
Yeah. The book is very much Priestley being like, I want to tell a story about the generation that has come back from World War One and how the British class system is ruining them and not good, and basically being like, what if I took these like bourgeois people, these PTSD rattled veterans, these fucking nouveau riche assholes, and like stuck them in a dark chamber with like the Edwardian hellscape of our past.
Yeah. And these like crumbling aristocratic families.
Yeah. And you know, it owes a lot to Gothic literature. It owes a lot, the novel, to like, you know, the Brontes and to Edgar Allan Poe. There's a lot of Usher in there. And it's a much more political and like sociological book than it is a like spook 'em up fright book. And so James Whale was able to like whittle that down to 70 minutes in a way that could be like a fright movie for Universal, but that he could also make as a comedy, and he could fill with actors he liked, that he was friends with. And it's like one of the most British movies to come out of Universal Pictures in Hollywood.
Super British. So what is it about? This movie begins when a young couple named Philip and Margaret are driving with their buddy Roger Penderell in a terrible rainstorm in rural Wales. And it's so bad that they just have to stop. And it's just like Rocky Horror. They see a house with some lights and they stop. It is the home of sort of an elderly brother and sister duo named Horace and Rebecca Femme, and their silent simpleton manservant whose name is Morgan, played by
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
And later another couple shows up. One is Sir William Porterhouse, who's like sort of nouveau riche, and he has a chorus girl with him named Gladys. And so they're all stuck in this house with this decaying old dark house, as the name suggests, with this increasingly drunken and we find out dangerous servant and this eccentric elderly brother and sister duo who, as the night progresses, we find out all these dark secrets about the family that lives in this house and the house's past. And it's kind of a hangout movie. I mean, it is like the prototype of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. If you've seen that the story is like, it feels very familiar. I mean, this movie is setting up so many tropes that we've seen a lot of different times.
Yeah. It's very much, it owes a lot to The Cat and the Canary, which is really the originator of a lot of that. The 20s silent version of The Cat and the Canary very much really established for film the idea of like caught in a rainstorm, have to go into a house, like, and then, oh no, killer in the home kind of thing. This movie really like is the first sound film to do it. And it also is like, it's Whale really modernizing his filmmaking techniques. And so when we did Dracula last week, that movie's beautiful and amazing, and it's made by Todd Browning, but it's very stagey. It's adapted from a play, and it feels like it's adapted from a play. It's very locked off. It's also very early sound because it's 31. They don't know how to deal with the audio equipment, so it's safe to just lock the camera down and have actors move through the scene. This movie, it's Whale's like 5th movie or something like that, so he's gotten a lot more comfortable behind the camera. The camera's constantly moving. We're getting like insert shots. We're getting really stylized shots that, you know, predate Orson Welles and Lady from Shanghai and Citizen Kane and stuff like that. It's a really modern looking and feeling movie, even if it does have some herky-jerky rhythms to it. And it also adds to that formula the like very askew sense of humor, dark comedy, and like a very queer sensibility.
Yeah, it's very funny and very queer.
And so in a lot of ways, this really is what Richard O'Brien and Rocky Horror, because this also has like 2 weird siblings and like the couple, like this hetero couple that's fighting, and like it really is a major reference point for that. This was also remade in the 60s by Hammer and William Castle, movie, right? Yeah. Which is a crazy duo, and that has nothing in common with this movie.
Oh, really?
Like, even a little bit. They like licensed it from Priestley's estate, from Priestley, who was still alive at the time, and like they got the rights from Universal and like made it, and it has nothing in common. It is an out-and-out comedy. It is closer to a monsters movie.
Okay.
But this also like prefigures and predates like the Addams Family and stuff like that, because like the Addams Family is like, what if you were in an old dark house movie, but the creepy family that lived in the house were the main characters and they were charming.
Yeah.
And the, you know, intruders were the awful people. It really like even though this movie wasn't as big of a hit as Frankenstein and Dracula and The Mummy and stuff like that, because it didn't have a single like monster they could hang on easily, it really like lingered in the consciousness of audiences and of creatives because it was already playing on existing Gothic tropes and because it pushed them in a way. And this is like one of the earliest horror comedies.
Yeah.
Like that then prefigures the remake of Cat and the Canary with Bob Hope, and like all the stuff like Arsenic and Old Lace feels like it's also doing an inversion on this, both the play and the movie. Like,
yeah, and you're about to get like Abbott and Costello meet whoever, you know what I mean? Like it is setting up this real horror comedy trend. And this is like one of the first talkies to do this, but you do have, it is sort of satirizing a tradition that's very strong in literature and theater. I mean, this is more modern filmmaking than Dracula, but there are plays that feel like this. Like,
oh yeah,
it does have like a noises off kind of quality of it, of like slamming door comedy. What a delight.
Love that kind of comedy. I love a very stagey, like French farce kind of like,
yeah.
oh no, Reginald's in the bathroom. Quick, hide in the closet. He'll never know that you're here.
It's like Clue.
It's like Clue. It's like Frasier. It's like Three's Company.
Yeah.
Like I love like oh my god, all these British gay guys.
Noel Coward.
Noel Coward. Like I love that kind of a play. I love that kind of rhythm. And this is literally James Whale being like, let's take a political gothic novel, let's inject a bunch of that into it, and then let's populate it with some of the best actors of the 30s that were all like starting their careers, and then a bunch of like old weird British stage actors to be as weird as possible. So like this is Karloff's first big role off of Frankenstein, to the point
it's very similar to Frankenstein.
It's very similar. They don't let him have any lines of dialogue. He's presented as a big scary brute, and then at the end he is like a well of emotion and sympathy that is unseen, and he's like representing this like labor class that is being used and manipulated and abused by the aristocracies and whatever. But then you also get like Melvin Douglas, as young as I've ever seen him, who would go on to be in like Ninochka and The Tenant and Being There, The Changeling, and fucking a bunch of Lubitsch movies. And he's Ileana Douglas's grandfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's part of the reason Martin Scorsese dated her, is he's such a fucking film dork that he dated Isabella Rossellini and Ileana Douglas just because he was like, wow, your dad was an angel. Your grandfather was, can you believe it? Oh my God. All right. Very early, Charles Laughton in his first American film, like knocking down the house as soon as he steps into it, playing like to the fucking backboards, like love it. Then we get Gloria Stewart, who's kind of the like primary female lead, who lived to the age of 100 and is in Titanic.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
She's also in The Invisible Man. Her husband is played by Raymond Massey from Earthling and Old Lace, playing the Boris Karloff part in that movie. He's the dad in East of Eden. He's in Matter of Life and Death. I always think of him from Things to Come. He's like super gaunt and weird. And then he would eventually play the kind of like creepy old man roles that of like Horace Femme in this. But Horace Femme is played by one of my favorite actors ever, Ernest Thesiger.
He's so like, good.
Such a creepy little weirdo. He is like, if Mr. Burns was a human being, he would get Ernest Thesiger.
I loved him.
He's the doctor in Bride of Frankenstein, too. He's like a high camp queen. He's the best.
He's the best. So one of the secrets in the movie is that the elderly brother and sister's father is still alive and he's 102, and they go and meet him. And he's played by a woman.
Yep.
And I wonder why. It's such a weird choice.
I found an interview with James Whale's partner from after James Whale's death, who said that Whale couldn't find a male actor that looked old enough to play the part. And he was friends with Elizabeth Dudgeon and was like, we can get her. She looks 100, whatever. But also it seems like, you know, Whale was trying to be uncanny by having a woman play a man. I mean, Dario Argento did the same thing in Deep Red. It's like, it's the same, I like kernel of an idea that would get you to some of the mistakes in something like Silence of the Lambs and Psycho. It's less vile of a like use in
I don't think it's vile at all.
I don't think it's vile at all.
Super weird, but
it's very much a way of like signifying like strangeness and otherness by like kind of gender swapping the casting, but not gender swapping the character. I think it works, and I think it's really weird and unsettling.
It's super weird.
And honestly, there's a lot of old men that like, and old women that at a certain point like gender kind of falls by the wayside.
You start to shrink and all that sort of stuff. I wondered if it was the same actor that played the sister. I think her name is Rebecca or Rachel.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't tell, and I didn't look at the cast list, I guess, because I'm too lazy. But it's not.
No, it's not. That's even more who is so goddamn good in this. She is amazing. She's great. She was like a suffragette in like the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah. All the scenes of her in her bedroom, like refracted through the mirrors, where her face like collapses in on itself. They're so good.
And then Gloria Stewart is just, once she changes into that dress, is so beautiful.
So stunning.
So Delphine Seyrig in Daughters of Darkness, just like absolute. I mean, I know this is 1931, but it's very 20s beautiful, you know, like just gorgeous.
She's so beautiful. And then you also get Lillian Bond as Gladys, the showgirl.
Yeah. That
gets brought in. And she's very much coded as being a sex worker who's just kind of being paid by Charles Laughton to...
Well, she is literally. I mean, she's with Charles Laughton as, you know, a companion.
Yeah. And he talks about he's a blowhard and a fucking piece of shit. And like, it should also be noted that J.B. Priestley was like a huge lefty, huge anti-capitalist.
Wait, you think he's a piece of shit? I really like him.
Charles Laughton?
Yeah.
I mean, he has the very like heartbreaking story about his wife.
Yeah, that made me like him a lot. He has this very working class accent, but he's a sir. And he comes in and you don't like him at all at first. And he has obviously a sex worker with him. And then he has this beautiful story about his wife who he deeply loved. And when they first made money, all of the other rich people kind of shunned him because they were working class. And that's what he felt like killed his wife. And so he was like, I'm going to earn more money than all of them. And then he did. And he became really lonely. And so I kind of liked him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Because of the class stuff.
Yes. I feel like, to a degree, Priestley probably hates him, but Whale is a lot more sympathetic to him. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a lot of difference in adaptation with this and there. I love Charles Laughton, the actor, but almost every single character he ever plays, I'm always like, I don't want to be around this guy. Like the guy in Hobson's Choice, I'm always like, please, oh God, get away from him.
When this pair enters the house, I'm like, I hate both of them so much.
I don't her like people immediately.
She's like, I don't know. I don't like people who have too much confidence. And they both seem like that at first, but then I like both of them very quickly. And I actually really love the love story between her and Pemberley that develops. I find it very sweet and old fashioned and cute.
It's really cute and really, and I saw a lot of reviews talking about how like the biggest flaw to this movie is how that relationship is like rushed and forced to fit into the runtime of the movie. And I'm like, fuck off. It's cute.
I don't agree with that at all. I really like it. I don't think it's necessarily realistic, but why should it be?
But what in this movie is realistic?
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man.
It has the logic and rhythms of all those like adorable like screwball comedies of that era. And Melvin Douglas was in a bunch of those, and like it's very easy to like feel like that's just like taken whole cloth out of that. And honestly, the fact that Whale is able to like balance his like really specifically like arch dry British humor and the horror and the gothic, and then also be able to like string through this love story in a way that all of it works is like crazy impressive.
All of these stage plays have to end with a wedding. It's like basically a rule.
Yeah.
You know, like the importance of being earnest. I think it's the importance of being earnest is amazing. But, you know, like we're dealing with melodrama here. So to me, the love story fits in perfectly. And I don't know, it just provides a nice counterbalance to everything else. Like all of those scenes in the garage or wherever, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, where they're like huddled up in the car.
So lovely. I loved it.
I really love how there's so many like for all of the like spooky like vibes and atmosphere in this movie and all the like potential danger around every corner. It is a hangout movie, and there's a lot of like good times. Like you get the feeling that if his sister wasn't there, that Horace Femme and Melvin Douglas's character would really get along. Like when he brings the gin out, they're like totally vibing. They're like, Horace is clearly like an anxious man. He's a very like hasn't left his house in like 60 years, like very anxious little old man who's being browbeaten by his sister daily.
Yeah, she's the only one who's religious too. She tells that story that it's like, my sister died when she was 20 because she was too slutty and she wasn't religious enough, basically. Like,
she was a hater to the end.
Yeah.
Godless to her final days. She's so funny and so scary. She's
funny.
Constantly coming after her brother for being like a pervert and a deviant and for being godless. And he's clearly just like gay.
Yeah.
He's clearly just a bitchy gay guy.
Yeah.
And the way they whisper and tiptoe around the other brother Saul, who's locked up in the attic, which the first time I saw this movie was when it was restored and put back in theaters on Halloween. I want to say in 2018 or 2017. And it truly blew me away. But the entire movie, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Saul, but that's going to be like super fucked up and super terrifying. Whenever they finally like break out, whatever that's gonna be is gonna be heinous or horrendous. And in the book, Saul is like a gibbering madman who can't like string a word together, and who is basically the same as Morgan, and then like immediately gets into a brawl and kills Pemberton, and that's the end essentially. Mm-hmm. And so instead, like, having the hand come down the stairs, and then
by the
having
way, stay
Karloff
there for 20 minutes. The hand just stays there for ages.
And then Karloff comes down, and you're like, "Oh, it's just Karloff." And then it's like you're like, "Oh, that's not his hand. What the fuck?" And then the hand just stays there for a while, and then finally, like the meekest little guy who comes down and he's bald, and he says, "I've been locked up in my chamber. I don't know what to do." And you're like, "Oh." I guess the siblings are insane and are locking up, and he has this whole narrative that they've locked him up because he watched them murder their sister, and he knows they killed her, and if they let him go, he'll tell on them. And then we quickly find out, no, he's a fucking arsonist.
He's for sure crazy. And he's going to set the house on fire. That's such a fun run of twists.
It's like, it's so, that's like the biggest departure from the book that Whale made, and it's genius.
Yeah.
Because you're fully expecting it to be like, you know, makeup effects. You've got Jack Pierce on this. You're fully expecting it to be something horrible. And it's just like a shrimpy little guy who's bald. Who's like, it's almost like, have you seen Midnight Run? With Robert De Niro?
No.
That whole movie is Robert De Niro's a bounty hunter, and he's got to get this guy that's wanted by the mob who's like been evading the authorities, and he's really scared, and he gets there, and it's Charles Grodin. And you're like, oh, it's just fucking Charles Grodin. He has like a panic attack on an airplane and can't fly, so he has to like travel across country. And then throughout the movie, you start to find out that no, Charles Grodin is like a fucking genius and is like a devious piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's really funny. But they do the same thing with this, where you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a fucking monster, and it's like, oh, he's just,
it's like this shrimpy little guy.
He's a shrimpy little guy. And then you find out, no, he's a full psychopath.
This movie is very funny and well written. I love when they first show up and Horace clears a seat for him, and there's like a basket of flowers there, and he says, oh, excuse me, my sister was just trying to arrange some flowers, and he just casually throws the flowers into a fire.
So goddamn mean.
It's very funny.
Love the sets of this movie. I cannot make heads or tails of the logic of this house, which is the idea.
Yeah.
So much of it takes place in that main like center, like living room, dining room kind of setup. The dinner that they have, the supper with the potatoes, is like so marvelous. The like jar of pickled onions that Karloff keeps bringing around, that the sister keeps like taking as many as she possibly can out of.
Yeah.
everything is so well designed and so eerie and creepy and strange. But at the same time, like, you know, the sun rises at the end, and Like Thessinger comes down and he's got less fags under his eyes and he's like, hey, good morning, gang, how you doing?
I know, yeah. The end is wild for that.
The feeling and vibe of the movie does feel like you are one of these people that just stumbled upon this house, and like it feels apocalyptic. It feels like with the rainstorms and with the like these insane people, you really feel like this is my last day on Earth. There's no way that this can end without this entire house crumbling to the ground and all of us burning alive. And it just ends with like, nope, that's just a day. Like, yeah, their brother died, but like that's just another day.
It seems like their life would be easier without him. So, yeah, they don't have to lock him in a room anymore. He's gone.
Karloff's discovery of his body is really sad.
Do you think they were gay lovers? Gay crazy lovers?
Probably. It's implied throughout the movie that the only one that goes in there is Karloff. The only one that feeds him, the only one that takes care of him is Karloff. For like 30 years? Or something?
One, that room smelled crazy when they were both in there. And two, the sex was so good.
Just for like days on end.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Horace is just in his little bedchamber, like pleasuring himself.
Oh, God.
It's so fucked up. Well, even like the father is like a Sir. It's Sir Roderick, right? Which again, straight out of Poe. And you're like, oh my God, this guy's been knighted. She also has all the like Queen Victoria like paintings and like dolls all around her room.
Well, a thing about the aristocracy in the UK is that a lot of them have lost their money, but they still have their estates. And this has continued to be true. So like you can actually go and rent an estate in the UK for pretty cheap rates because they need the money. So they still have their titles and their houses, but they can't afford to actually live there and keep them up. So like they're holding on by a thread over there.
Yeah. I was thinking while watching this that, obviously this setup in this trope that this movie and the movies like this that have established has like gone now for like the whole history of cinema. There's all like, it is just like, it's a touchstone. You get it as soon as you start doing it. And Rocky Horror really amplified it. But it's a very British and very turn of the century initial setup. And this movie is, of course, set in the north of London, which is very working class and very industrial.
This is Wales.
Well, okay, sorry, the country then.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to think of like, what is the American equivalent of this? And then I was like, oh, it's House of a Thousand Corpses. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's also like the hillbilly horror subgenre is kind of our version of this. Like your Texas Chainsaw Massacres, your The Hills Have Eyes. They have a different dynamic.
Maniacs.
They're like classist against rural poor people, but so it's a different dynamic. But yeah, I would say that that's our version of this.
I was also thinking that like the modern equivalent of this is this kind of recent spate of social custom thrillers, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Like Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. And there's been a few others recently. To a degree, the beginning of Barbarian.
I love that movie.
That movie's so fucking good. I just got a bootleg of that on Blu-ray because there isn't one.
Cannot believe there's not a Blu-ray of Barbarian.
What the fuck? Oh, that mouse is gonna get it if he doesn't put out a disc. We used to be a
society.
Oh my God. Anyway, I was thinking about how like that's very much like the modern equivalent of this right now. Of like you're like away from home, you are with people you do not know, you are stranded, you are trapped, and you have to like be stuck with social niceties, and it's like whether or not the people you're with are crazy or what's going on. And I just like, as soon as you do that and you replace the aesthetics of like crumbling castles and cobwebs to being like Teslas, I want to shoot myself.
Well, what about since I mentioned it earlier, what about People Under the Stairs or Don't Breathe, where it's about people that are breaking into what they think is a rich person's house, and it turns out to be like an evil rich person that's going to kill them.
Yeah,
and it's like a weird house.
I that's in the same vibe too. That doesn't have the same.
There's not a lot of those, but
there's not a lot of those. One that's in that genre that I really like is what is?
I really liked Don't Breathe, which I saw years after it came out, but I thought it was a blast.
Have you seen I See You with Helen Hunt?
No.
Okay. This came out in 2019. Arrow put it out in the UK, but I think it's on Tubi. It's like it's the same story like repeated 3 times. A la Noises Off. It resets from different characters' perspectives. It's about a small town where like kids are disappearing and being killed. And part of the story is about people frogging, the thing where you like break into someone's house. And, like,
I love frogging. I love frogging.
You need to see I See You then.
Ooh,
this is like for all listeners, check out I See You with Helen Hunt. So good. I don't want to say anything more about it other than it fits into that and it's very good.
I love People in the Walls. I love that.
Yeah. Really, really, really great. I would really like to see more stuff like that. I find that kind of thing so calming, but also like scary and weird and real. And like I think you could do a like modern version of that now that's not about like tech billionaires. Like
there's a great version of that you would love from New Zealand from late 2010s called Housebound.
Oh, I've heard of this.
It's about a girl who's on house arrest in what she thinks is a haunted house, but it's not a haunted house, and I won't say it anymore, but it's very scary and very funny and really good because she's got an ankle bracelet on and can't leave the house. It's really great.
I've seen that poster. I think I remember that being on Netflix back in like 2014, 2015.
Yeah, super fun movie.
I really need to see that. Anyway, The Old Dark House fucking rips. It's
rules.
Hard to find because it's not a part of the Universal Library anymore.
You can stream it. It's on Tubi. It's on Prime, etc.
It's now owned by the Cohen Media Collection, so it's owned by a single billionaire, which fucking sucks. There's a good UK Blu-ray of it that you can import at least. And we should also mention that it was nearly lost and then saved by Curtis Harrington, the director Who Slew Auntie Roo.
Okay. Let's pivot and play our favorite game, Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. This person came into my head out of the clear blue sky. Nicole Kidman.
Cool.
Getting a divorce.
Newly single.
Is
she going to do the most awesome thing she could possibly do now? Is she going to do it? Is she finally going to do it? Is she going to beat Hugh Jackman to doing this thing? What? Only time will tell.
What thing?
Coming out of the closet.
Oh.
It's okay. We all know it. It wouldn't hurt your career. It would, in fact, probably help your career. Be who you want to be.
I want to get a tell-all about the Scientology years from her or Katie Holmes.
He's going to have to die for that to happen.
Yeah, I guess.
And you know what? One more movie and he might.
You know that shit was weird.
Yeah. I enjoy a lot of movies that Tom Cruise is in. I think he's an incredibly talented actor.
Great actor.
I think he's a very weird guy.
Very weird.
And unsettling.
I remember reading that like Christian Bale based his performance in American Psycho on Tom Cruise because he said when you meet Tom Cruise, there's like he's very nice, but there's nothing behind the eyes, and it's like sort of upsetting. I think about that every time I think about Tom Cruise. Imagine having a dinner party with fucking David Miscavige from Scientology.
Anyway, Nikki Kids. I don't think she's seen The Old Dark House. I think she would like it.
She'd like it. She's funny and cool. Keith Urban wouldn't have liked it though, so she's better off without him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know so many gay women that are like, I get it. I get why she's with Keith Urban. He's got the long hair. I get what she's doing. I get how it's safe. But please leave him. And then she's leaving him, and everyone's like, oh my God, she's gonna do it. Like, everyone's so excited. I want it to happen. Well, speaking of, and because it came up, and because this movie is made by so many gay men, closeted and not, do you think Tom Cruise has seen Old Dark House?
I actually don't know that much about Tom Cruise. I mean, he's never been in a horror movie besides Interview with the Vampire that I can think of.
I know he's like
a fan.
He's famously a big movie fan. He's always talking about how he watches like 2 to 3 movies a day. And he was a huge De Palma fan, famously, that he tapped him to direct Mission Impossible. There's the insane story that he like would have dinner with Steven Spielberg every night for like a year or something. And he tried to get Spielberg to direct it, and Spielberg was like, no. And so instead he invited De Palma over to one of their dinners without telling Cruise. And Cruise liked him a lot and was like, oh, I love your movies. And then as he was leaving, Spielberg was like, he could make Mission Impossible. And so after leaving the dinner, Tom Cruise drove to Blockbuster and rented every Brian De Palma movie, stayed up all night watching them into the next day, and then called up De Palma after finishing like 10 of them and was like, I want you to do Mission Impossible. Like,
good person to have on your side. Or like,
I mean, yeah. But if not on your side, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Good thing PTA's friends with him, or Jesus Christ.
Tom Cruise, I still think no, but just because the movie's kind of obscure.
Yeah. I think yes for sheer volume. I think he might have a TV on in his house with just like one TV on with Tubi, one TV on with Criterion Channel, one TV on with TCM, and then he is sitting like he's like hanging upside down by his feet with like when there's like UV masks on.
Yeah.
And he's hearing, he's like Thomas Jerome Newton, Bowie's character in The Man Who Fell to Earth, just sitting there in the chair with like 7 TVs all playing stuff at once.
Okay, this is one of my favorite filmmakers, and Nicole worked with him. Do you think Yorgos Lanthimos has ever seen The Old Dark House?
Oh, yeah. I feel like yeah. I know Yorgos. I don't know what his horror tastes are. Obviously, he has Begonia coming out, which is a remake of a really great South Korean sci-fi movie. And his movies have dabbled with horror in the past. But now he's like a big art house guy, and he's a big like surrealist guy. But like, I feel like he would fuck with James well. I'm sure he's seen like the heavy hitters.
Of course, yeah.
Because you can't not, really.
Yeah,
And this is much more in the like kind of like Guillermo del Toro, I'm a massive fan of this era kind of movie. I'm up in the air, but I'm gonna say yeah. I feel like Yorgos has seen this. This feels like a deep cut that if you're such a film fan and Halloween rolls around and you're like, I want to find something to watch this year that I've never seen before, this is a really good one to go to.
It feels like a movie that like real horror heads have seen. People who like, I need to see every horror movie that I can, but kind of nobody else, including film buffs. Like even if you're like a huge film buff, if you're not a horror head, maybe you haven't seen this one.
Yeah. I find that I feel like huge horror fans kind of skipped this one over because it's not one of the monster ones. I mean, maybe if you're like a Karloff completist, a lot of those people will track this one down. This one seems to fall more into people that are obsessed with James Whale. So there's a lot of people out there that really idolize his monster movies, yes, but also his non-monster movies like Kiss Before the Mirror, Man in the Iron Mask, Showboat, Remember Last Night. And I think people that are into those like revere Old Dark House as being like an unsung masterpiece. And like those are, persnickety old weird Hollywood people like David Del Valle and Owen Klein, who are my kind of people. So like, it's a different one. I feel like goths are fans of it. if you put this on at a party, just put Bloodhaus over it, everyone would have a good time.
Yeah.
So I would say Yorgos has, but I also think you're right. He probably hasn't. Well, because I brought them up, and because they fucking rule. Do you think Peter Murphy of Bloodhaus has seen The Old Dark House?
Oh, I love Peter Murphy.
I hope wherever he is right now, he's having a good day. I hope he's happy.
So too.
I hope he's content. I hope he got a massage recently. I hope he's at a spa.
He deserves to be happy. I think so. I think this is a movie he would really fuck with. Don't you?
Yeah. This feels like something that like he and like Robert Smith and like Trent Reznor can all hang out and put on The Old Dark House and like have a good time.
I mean, if you put the Peter Murphy song Cuts You Up over this movie, it would just, all the images would just suddenly feel so heartbreaking.
I know. Like this movie's so beautifully like shot and composed and designed that like I'm shocked no one's made like, you know, a little fan cam set to like Bela Lugosi's dead or something to this. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Movie. Maybe it's time for someone to do that.
Yeah, not me.
Let's hire a social media team just to cut together reels.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. You can rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram. Drusilla, where are you?
You can find myself and my work over at sisterhidedesign.com. There's a whole bunch of stuff over there and a whole bunch of stuff that I've worked on that is releasing right now. So you can see my new art for the TV show Lazarus from Harlan Coben, starring Bill Nighy, which is a super fun new like ghost thriller that comes out at the end of the month. On streaming on I think Prime, Train Dreams, which comes out in November in theaters and then on Netflix, and the poster for the new Nicolas Cage FKA Twigs horror movie about the teenage years of Jesus Christ. You know, the teen just follow up as a horror film. Yeah. The Carpenter's Son. I have a new poster out for that as well. You can find all of that over at my website. And you should check all of those out because those are all very good things that are coming out, and I'm very excited. I cannot wait to see Carpenter's Son. And you can follow me on Instagram at SisterHide, and you can follow me on Letterboxd. If you search for Drusilla Adeline or SisterHide, you can find me and all the Hammer movies my girlfriend and I are watching. I'm doing all the Universal movies for the show right now, and then Ivory and I are doing all the Hammer movies for ourselves right now. So it's and Amicus, and so it's really hard for me to be like watching anything else.
Have you watched Vampire Circus yet? I love that one. It's so demented.
We watched that one last year. That movie's
crazy.
Great.
It's so weird. I love it.
What about you, Josh? How can people knock on your door on a rainy day?
At Joshua Conkel on Letterboxd and Instagram. Next week, we are continuing our walk through Universal Studios. We are watching what was my favorite Universal classic monster movie. I'm curious to know if it will still be. Which is it?
Well, I think we're done with our walk through the Universal Studios. Now we have to swim through the Universal Studios. As we head down south, we hop aboard the Rita, and we hunt for the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Can't wait. I don't know why I made that sound. Bye.
Bye.